Hey yo, this is another video, so let's go. So just driving, riding, seeing things are putting things together. When you put things together, your ancestors make it available for you, and they'll say, hey, it's only right. All right, so if it's only right, then this is only wrong. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, we said welcome to the historic town of Cahokia. Cahokia was the first. Wait, hold up. The historic town of Cahokia was founded by French and Canadian missionaries. Now, missionaries, when they go over across waters like Africa, all these different places and lands that's not native to them, they're trying to like persuade some people to say, hey, we got a book you should read, and you should give us your land, and we can teach you about this good old savior of ours we have here. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So no, we don't do that. We don't fuck with missionaries. Missionaries have no good intentions, because now you got the book, and look, we don't saying, but it wasn't meant for us to have this land over time, because we not the physical. We come from the abyss, which is the darkness, like a baby inside the womb. When they come out of when they're in the womb, they're taken care of. When they're taken care of, they're eating. They don't have to deal with anything inside inside the light. So if we're under the light, that means the missionary is what? God. So that means we're giving more reverence or respect to God when God don't even love you. So if he's sending these people, he'll work through a missionary or a pastor that pimped all the females in the church, or get a 501c3. That's a government grant that the government gives these churches. When they give the government grant to these churches, they're actually they have to teach a message that the government wants them to teach. So that means we're still being taught things by God, or so-called God, or missionaries, that we can't even see now. Now we see somebody that looks like us in the church. They say, hey, I like the way you talk. You went to the school of seminary school, or what Bobby Hemming like to call the cemetery, the cemetery school, because it's a dead way of learning. You can't learn nothing, or you can learn how to fool your people that look like you. That's it. So the same missionaries is in control of all these cemeteries. Oh, seminaries. So what I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna start over again, just so you get it. So this once was a village by people like to say Indians, Native Americans, but I like to say primitive people. That means prime, first. So if you're prime and you're first, that means you have a way of surviving outside of someone trying to give you something and always give you something. That means it's always going to be your what? That's going to be your standard of living. If somebody's giving you something like some things are just, they come and they go. You know what I'm saying? That tree probably been around longer than a lot of people's things in their houses. So let me go back to this, read this, start over again. The historic town of Cahokia was founded by French Canadian missionaries in 1699. It was the first European settlement settlers, European settlers. I was at the Star Mound, and motherfucker come outside. You can't be here. It's like, it don't got no trespassing on this so-called land. He said, I told him, you're a settler. Motherfuckers looked at me like, I just got all red in the face, just blood just filling up in their face. You know what I'm saying? We got to keep it real. It was the first European settlement on the Mississippi River and remains the oldest village existing on the river. So wait a minute. It was the first European settlement on the Mississippi River. If it was, that means they floated up the Mississippi River from the looking for us and looking who they can make do things they want them to do, going up the like I always say, they went up the Gulf of Mexico. The Olmecs did first, which was highly melanated, so-called black people, highly melanated people from Mexico. Olmecs. That's why when you see the faces in the Olmecs, they look just like ours, big nose, big lip, all that. So they was looking for these people, so they went up. They were like, oh, we can follow the stream. They're always near water, because we made out of water, 70% water. Just like the earth is 70% water, 70%, 30% land. So they went up the Mississippi River. So the French, remember, that's how the settlements of New Orleans, like the same thing. I see the same thing around here. You see this? That's the same thing in New Orleans. I see that in certain signs in St. Louis. So St. Louis was what? The king of France. So this is another settlement of France. That's all this is. Another settlement of France. So with this being, like with me saying this, they have the largest Indian mounds. People don't put this together. Like 18 and 18. They don't put it together to make 36. They don't put it together. I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, we look at it differently. I look at it different. So like the Cahokia Indian mounds, that's the largest Indian mounds in the United States of America. That's the largest Indian mounds ever. They say it's the largest one. The second largest is in Mississippi. And where is that? Right on the Mississippi River. Just like this is on the Mississippi River. So if you ever see Indian mounds, they're always by lakes, water, rivers, all that. You always will find our ancestors by water. 718, the desolate one, abomination of desolation, the stele of revealing self, like in Revelations, in the so-called Bible. We wrote that first. They just took a lot of books out of it, so it won't make sense to us. So now you think about it. If it's the oldest village existing on the river, that means we're the oldest people that was living in St. Louis. Now they separated it, St. Louis and East St. Louis. It's all the same, but they separated, made the state separated. So if you're able to do that, you're able to put a certain type of people on one side and a certain type of people on one side. But the certain type of people on the East St. Louis side got all the Indian mounds, and you put all the so-called black people, highly melanated, Aboriginal, primitive. That means Aboriginal means first, original, primitive first. Then you put those people on the St. Louis side. So just think about it. We feel an attachment to a so-called God. Why? But God don't even love you. They can take everything about you. See this building right here? See the building right here? That building? Now I wonder where that building could be. That's that building right there. Like, right there, dog. Hold on, man. That's that building right there. That's it right there. They'll take everything and give you a book. And now we still in the book. But now it's a new day. Shit's changing. See that building at the top too? Look, a gateway area Bible fellowship. See, look, they put this stuff here for a reason. See what I'm saying? The gateway is the gateway arch. The arch is the gateway to the west. So they call it what? The Wild Wild West. The Wild West. Yeah, because they put everything on the east. The east is like supposedly so-called higher learning. So everything time frame is starts in the East Coast all the way to the West Coast. So they try to put everybody behind by making everything behind in itself, like in our mind. Our mind is behind. But we catching up. We catching up. I'm not going for it. If I'm not going for it, it's gonna be a whole host of people, a whole gang of people that's not gonna go for it either. Because every time I'm going back and forth, it's always a difference. You always see a sprinkle of highly melanated people in East St. Louis, but then you go on St. Louis. Look where, like, you know what I'm saying? It just goes. We don't look at it like that. People might have been living here this whole time, but I've been going to so many Indian mounds. I can answer to say we want you to be able to tell the difference. And when you get to where you need to be at, you're gonna be the spark that start that fire. That fire is gonna hit. It's gonna hit. So the historic town of Cahokia, that's the largest Indian mound in the United States. That's why they say it's the oldest village existing on the river. They was able to go to that. You know what I'm saying? There was the French Canadians. That's why they went all the way up the Mississippi River into Canada. They wasn't Canadians. They was the French that now it's Quebec and all that. That's a French name and all this stuff. So we can't. All right, here goes another one. Sidebar. I'm gonna catch the elbow. Watch this. Now why was Drake signed to Young Money, Cash Money? Why is that? You know why? Only because, well, his mother is what? Supposed Jewish, and his father is from where? Memphis. Memphis, it ain't that far from where? It ain't that far from the Mississippi River. Matter motherfucking fact, the Mississippi River goes to Memphis. Come on now, like, come on, man, like, they playing games with people. Drake ain't nobody. That's why he got people writing for him. Come on now, like, all right, you know, he ain't the total subject of this video, but we gotta look past the bullshit, man. They put that clown in front of us, and he's not really talented. All he can do is he's acting out. Remember, he was on that show, Degrassi. He's acting out. There's nothing wrong with being an actor, but he's acting out while people give him the lines. You know what I'm saying? All these lines people give him, he's acting it out. So it's gonna become a time. See, he's not the only one that deals with the occult realm. Like he's supposed Jewish, dealing with this stuff. No, I did just as much, and you are the. But anyway, I don't gotta talk that much about that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? When the time comes, it's gonna be time to bomb on him. So when the French Canadian missionaries, they sent him out here. See, they said they'll push him out here. All right. So I'm just showing you, they damn near doing the same thing. He's damn near becoming a missionary in the music. But the music, they say a long time ago, the music is gonna be a new religion of the music. When nobody's gonna want to really listen to the churches, they're gonna be going to the music. But the music he putting out, he studies stuff that don't even deal with the stuff he be talking about. So in time, you'll get yours for misleading the people. You'll get yours, and it's like I said, the spark will make the flames light up this place. All right. So, killing the day, killing God. If we killing God, we killing these so-called missionaries. God will work through a missionary in order to do what? To destroy everything you know and love. So if it's everything you know and love, it's a so-called land. No, it's not so-called land. Now we're gonna go. The time is going backwards. If we're remembering, that means time is going backwards, and God doesn't exist. If we was inside the womb, time didn't exist until we came outside into the light. That's how you measure time with the sundial, right? Ashe.